Turch, and with me is my co-host, the CEO of the We Only Do One Take podcast network of shows. It's Kieran. How you doing, buddy?
And it's great that we've got a network of shows. Fantastic. I feel like, I'm a CEO acquiring other businesses to make the original company bigger. But Turch,
Yes.
it's amazing. My internet got upgraded at home.
I'm amazed.
And now, because we're still in lockdown, and I'm not breaking the law, and I'm at home, it just feels like
we're in the same room.
It does feel like we're in the same room.
It even echoes like the way it feels like we're in the same room. It's amazing.
High-speed internet. It's amazing, isn't it?
I'm amazed. Suddenly we have better internet connection than like North Korea.
Yeah.
We did it.
That's right. Or Gippsland.
Gippsland.
It's going through floods at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's very...
Or Phillip Island, who has no power.
Phillip Island's still got no power.
I think they said they're going to have like no power for like a week. And then I like the Victorian government. They're like, Gippsland, you're flooding. We understand. When you leave your home, make sure to take a mask and some hand sanitizer. That was a real thing from the state government.
No.
Yes, let me find it.
No.
Talking about that sort of thing. But yes, it was.
It was. We understand you're going through. Your house might have been flooded, everything might have been wrecked, but don't forget your mask and hand sanitizer.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
It was. I probably can't even find it. But
I believe you, Turch. I believe you.
It was amazing. I saw it. I think one of Jess's friends tagged her in it just for the comments. Everyone's like, "Thank you very much for all this helpful thing. How about some of that dollary dues to sort of ease our pain?"
Yeah.
Across the board. But it was great. But we are hopefully after this no more lockdown. But this, Kieran, I don't know.
No. What we are in, Turch. Let me tell you what we're in. You've been a naughty boy.
Oh yeah, well,
and your parents have grounded you.
Yeah.
You're probably at a party taking drugs, right? They've grounded you. That's it. You're not leaving the house for the next month except for going to school. And,
I don't even leave for work.
Right?
I don't know. This is kind of better that I'm working from home. I get to work in my underpants.
It's amazing. So I'm talking about when you're at high school, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay. And then now they're like, you know what? You've done your month. Well done. We still don't trust you.
Yeah.
So yes, you can go hang out with your friends, but you got to be back by 9 o'clock. Or you got to be back home by 6 for dinner.
Hopefully the curfews don't come back. That was ridiculous.
Right.
Was ridiculous.
So I feel like we're not trusted yet. We're still
really
in trouble.
Strange. Which is
we're
really
still
strange.
a disappointment to Daddy Dan.
It's really strange that we are the disappointment when you look back at all the lockdowns and why they happened. It wasn't because of the people. It was because of the government.
It was the government. yeah, the government.
So I'm really disappointed in the government. Yeah. I think that we should.
I want to put the government in lockdown.
I want to put the government in lockdown. You know what? I just really want, more than anything else, for the time amount that people were in lockdown and couldn't earn money.
Do you know what?
That's when they shouldn't have earned money.
You know what exactly. And you know what? There's only one apology that they can give us. No tax.
No taxes.
No
baby.
tax.
No taxes. Exactly right. But
Kieran, that only took us 3 minutes to get to tax.
No, I was going to say, I didn't even say, Kieran, I don't know if you noticed or not, and you probably don't because you didn't even get out the last episode by the time of this recording.
By the time it will be out, it will be out. There was just some emergency planning that had to happen.
But this is the magical episode 150 of this episode.
150
we did 150 episodes of this podcast. Just this podcast with. So we want to thank all of our friends and all the guests that we've had on there. Everyone from Jason from Mixed Media Forest to the guys from
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you.
Yes.
We thanked them at the 100th episode.
We're going to thank them again.
Go. Yeah, okay.
I'm always going to thank them because without them, they've been along for the ride for the majority of these episodes. From all the guests we've interviewed to all, we're going to get more fun people in the future. Sadly, we've been banned off YouTube, which we discussed last time. But
can I say, it's only taken 150 episodes to get banned. I think that's pretty good.
But we didn't even do 150 episodes on YouTube.
I know, really
did like 20 episodes on YouTube and we got banned. That's pretty good, though. I'm pretty happy about that.
That's pretty amazing.
If we're getting... I kind of figured out why we got banned off YouTube.
Okay,
they changed their monetization policy.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent it around. I read it fully only recently.
Yeah.
From what I understand, their goal is not just to monetize videos of creators who have like 10,000 views and so many followers.
Yeah.
The goal is with YouTube is to monetize every single video.
Yeah, they want to put an ad in front of every single video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because of that, none of our content...
They could put ads in front of.
So, a lot of content from some of my favorite creators has been either removed or demonetized completely. And our good friend Dan Rosario, the comedian, been on the show a couple of times. He just created a YouTube channel, put up one of his videos, instantly deleted.
No.
Dead set. I messaged him about it, crazy sort of times. But look, I'm not going to dwell on the terrible. It's been 150 episodes. Thank you so much, Kieran, for dealing with all that stuff. But the good news
thank you, Spotify, for not
I know,
not delisting us.
You've done very well. But more importantly, our spin-off show, Reading Wikipedia. The Reading Wikipedia podcast, available on Spotify and a whole bunch of other places. Definitely on Spotify and on Anchor and Podbean. You know, a few other places as well. It's basically everywhere. It's great. But very exciting. We're already up to our either 9th or 10th episode that's going to come out. It'll definitely be 10 episodes by the time. I'm going to have a quick look here. What's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means 10 episodes.
We've done 10.
We've just released. Has
the 10th one made it up there yet?
Let me have a quick double check here. The episode that you just recorded just before here, yes, episode 10, the PWS 20, the Polish fighter plane episode, just came out. So we've done 160 episodes of podcasts in our time.
That is amazing.
That's amazing. 10 today.
That is amazing.
So very exciting. We're done. I said thank everybody for that. Now this is going to be the least amount of work I've ever done for a podcast because I'm just going to rant.
Fantastic.
And there's no news. And there's no podcast consultant bit.
No. We're having a podcast. We're reviewing Reading Wikipedia. We're not going to be biased in any way.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll listen to Jess's recordings.
That's right, because the Reading Wikipedia podcast, I don't know if
anyone could be involved.
Anyone could be involved. If you'd like to be part of it, just message us. And we will get you involved. It's very simple. But let me go through the rants. I got a lot. Okay. I'm going to start off with some crappy shit that just bothers me.
Sorry, you know what you're saying there?
What?
I feel like you're a teenager on like student radio.
Yeah.
Our first topic
I know.
is going to be this. And now
I need to get the rants out.
And now we're going to talk about this. And I think my mum's listening. Hi, Mum.
You know what it is? I'm just teasing the audience to get them warmed up for when you do your news segment. Very exciting. But I'm going to start off. I'm going to build up the rants.
Yeah.
I'm going to build up the rants. Don't you hate it?
Yes.
When you put on a pair of shoes and then your foot gets itchy and you can't scratch it properly because your shoe's on.
It's like the same when you put jeans on and then your thighs itchy.
Yeah, and you can't really scratch it properly or any piece. But I feel shoes is the worst of it because shoes take a lot of, not a lot of effort, but enough effort.
Well, some shoes.
Yeah.
Some shoes. I got a new pair of boots, and fuck me, to put them on, I'm sweating. Right, I'm sweating by the time they're on. Yeah. They're not coming off.
See, all this lack of gym for both of us.
Right?
We've really suffered.
Yes. Ugg boots, on the other hand, no problem.
No problem. Like I said, some shoes easier than others, but I put on a pair of Chucks. Put on
with the laces.
And the laces and all that. And then I was like, great, put them on.
Chucks are bad because there's a lot of lace work.
That's right.
There's a lot of lace work in the Chucks.
We're about to go out to dinner, and that's the next rant. And then my foot got itchy, and I'm like, no, I can just scratch it. You know when you do the scratch where you try to rub your other shoe against your shoe to... No, and then it just made it worse. Just made it worse. So I had to take off my shoe and scratch my foot, which is even worse.
Were you at home?
I wasn't home. I was waiting for Jess to get ready.
Yeah, so you're at home.
I was at home.
So you weren't out.
No, but it's even worse
if you were out. Would you have taken your shoe off?
I don't know. It was getting to the stage where I probably would have had to.
Because I'm saying no bathroom, no private place around, and you're in public. What do you do?
I tried. I go even harder with the foot.
But you look like an idiot.
An itch needs to be scratched.
But someone driving by would be like, that man has an itchy foot. Good on him.
I think most people would understand. if someone goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I got an itchy foot." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I understand that."
Yeah.
It's like when why? Like, have you ever seen those pictures like of men's footprints in the snow, and then they've got like that one side step,
Yeah.
and then the foot goes back,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, well, I know what that is. That guy had his ball stuck to his thigh,
Yeah.
and he had to sidestep a little bit to sort of
A little bit of readjustment.
just a readjustment, but he didn't want to make it look too suspicious. So he just sort of sidestepped a little bit more, and then was back in.
I thought I was going to get Me Too'd the other day.
Oh.
I was out. No, I was out going for a jog. Got to get fit for your wedding, and I've got these new underwear. You know, for running.
Oh, like skins.
Skins. That's it, right? And anyway, because I didn't know what size I was when I got them from the shop.
Oh, look, I'm a medium in those because they're really fucking.
Well, and they didn't have numbers on them, so it was small,
Yeah.
medium, large, extra large, etc. So I was like, oh fuck, I'll just get different sizes.
Mm.
Anyway, so I'm out running, and you know how the balls sort of just like, and I tried to do the sidestep, but the sidestep didn't quite work, and so I put my hands down my pants because I'm like, I'm running, I'm out on.
Were you just wearing the skins?
No, I had
Shorts
shorts on top.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of running, and then I've sort of stopped, and I'm like, no one's around. I didn't look behind.
That's great.
And then this woman starts running past me, and I've got my hands down my pants. I'm like, fuck now. This is what I need.
This is how I feel. The exact same feeling of either scratching my foot or like you get a bit of a wedgie from running as well sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Oh, I better stop and just fix my... I'm like, someone's going to be walking up and seeing me scratch my ass.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. Anyway, so that's my first rant. Having an itchy foot. But I think we've gone past that point now where we can just say ball sticking to thigh as a... Okay, second one.
Shut up for a second, Turch. I don't want you to have all the rants.
Okay.
I got a new fridge.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. My fridge is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
The old fridge, which, as someone once called it, like you're still in like university, are you? Like it was an old fridge, painted blackboard on it.
Yeah,
blackboard paint. That was a good fridge. Anyway, needed to go, and luckily, my across the road neighbour had moved out and had left all the trash on the driveway. So I was like, fuck, rather than taking this fridge to the tip, I'm going to take it over the road, right? Good citizen I am. And I do that, come back. It's a little bit later on. And, with my housemates, we were all helping unpack the old fridge, put the new fridge in and all of that. And I go to open the new freezer. And I'm like, where are the ice cube trays?
Mm-hmm.
The ice cube trays aren't here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does have an ice cube tray compartment, but we've got those big fuck off Tesseract cube ice cubes as well. Well, my idiot housemate
has thrown it out with the fridge.
Has left it in the freezer, which is now across the road. And so we're sort of talking about whose fault was it. Now, I say it wasn't my fault. I blamed my housemate. And we're looking across the road, and it's like, oh fuck, well we better go over and go get it. And just happens to pull up the house next door to the house that's got all the crap has sold. Mm-hmm. It says under contract.
Yeah.
And the real estate agent pulls up, and another car pulls up, and it's a girl, and the for sale sign, the sold sign goes on.
Nice.
And I was like, I know my mind. I'm like, oh, congratulations, but can you hurry the fuck up because we need to get across the road.
I really need those ice trays.
But it now looks like if I go over there, because there's all this trash right on their driveway, that it's like I'm scummaging through the trash.
That happens so often here. It is hard rubbish week coming up.
Yeah.
And we've put some stuff out the front.
Hard rubbish week is different because everyone's hard rubbish is out.
But how many scavengers come across and look through things and take stuff? I think last hard rubbish stuff, I dumped a whole bunch of shit out the front. And I would say about 25 to 30% of it went before the hard rubbish was collected. I'm like, that's fine by me.
Well, the problem we had here, Turch, was it wasn't just the sign went up.
Yeah.
They kept talking.
Yeah.
And talking. And it was like, it was almost like real estate agent, can you ask her out already?
Yeah.
or can you move the fuck
Why
along?
don't you ask her out to walk over there? Congratulations, I'm your new neighbour.
I'll see her another time.
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
going to try and compete with another male.
No,
you know,
but it's a real estate agent. They're not human.
Because I'm now going over there to get an ice cube tray.
But you just you get their number, they fuck off, and then you get your ice cube tray, and when she comes over, you give her a fresh
I
fresh
really
ice.
wanted the ice cube tray. I really didn't want to be diverted
Priorities
in
are
conversation
fucked. Priorities are fucked.
for two extroverts and then be stuck over there for another hour.
I'm very proud.
And
of you.
have to hear about her new house and yada 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 and what she's going to do with it. And I don't want the whole story.
That's fair.
I just wanted the. So anyway, I fucked
You'd be
off.
like, I'm a doctor.
I
Look at
fucked
me.
off. Went for a jog.
Did you get the ice cube trays?
I went for a jog. Had the sticky ball situation, and came back and someone in my house had already got the ice cube trays, which I then go, well, it was them. They were at fault because they got
Problem
the
solved.
ice cube trays.
Problem solved. All right. I've been watching a lot of crap on Netflix recently.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to watch was a movie documentary. You know those type of things. I don't know what they're called properly.
A
About
mockumentary.
no. It was like a real. It's about the life of the guy, but they reenact.
Oh,
It's like a movie of the life of the guy, but it's a documentary type film.
okay.
You know, about Roberto Baggio, who's an Italian soccer player from the 90s.
Okay.
And like one of the greatest players to ever play the game type of thing.
Okay, so what's this? Roberto
Baggio.
Baggio.
That's right.
All right, what are my talking points? What do I need to know? What
Nothing.
are the
Really.
three talking points?
Nothing.
Was he involved in any scandal? Did he get a goal that won the game that he shouldn't have?
No, he was the best player in Europe.
Yeah.
Played for Juventus.
Is it controversial or like hands down everyone knows he was the best?
Yeah, he
player?
was the best. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he went to the 1994 World Cup.
Yeah.
And he was the best player at the World Cup.
Okay.
And he was to take the final penalty in the penalty shootout against Brazil in the final.
Before he retires.
And he missed.
Yo.
And then he had a bit of a career after that.
Okay.
But that's not what I want to talk about. I just want to give that...
You really got to stay on topic, Turch.
I know. But I was watching the film, and the film was dubbed. Because it was an Italian film.
Yeah.
And it was dubbed in English. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'll just change it to Italian. I'll watch it with subtitles. That's better.
Yeah.
Because the dubs is... the voices aren't right.
And you're a little bit Italian, so you can understand.
A little bit of understanding
you
as well,
know.
especially about soccer. I could do that.
Yeah, and the hand gesturing.
And the hand gesturing. And all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, and there was no option to swap it to Italian and have subtitles, so I had to watch it with the dubs.
Oh no.
And that's what I'm complaining about. Like films that, especially on Netflix, you should have it in Italian for me to quickly swap over to, because it isn't Italian.
It isn't. But did Netflix get the license for it to be in Italian?
What do you mean? You get the license to the film. You get it in Indian dubs to French dub to English.
I look maybe.
I'm just assuming that would be the case, but I couldn't swap it over, and it made.
Did you try getting Italian Netflix?
I don't know.
Today's podcast is brought to you by NordVPN.
I
Did you
wish.
know? See. One day we'll have those.
We'll
ads.
have one. Yeah, that's right. All right, so I watched. Let's go back to the story. I have an itchy foot.
Yeah.
I watched the film.
Yeah.
Have an itchy foot,
Uh-huh.
and then we go out to dinner for
Oh.
Jess's nephew's birthday. We're
All right. Let me get this straight.
This is all
You've
in
got
one day.
problem number 1, the itchy foot. Problem number 2, the dubbing of the film. So you're already irritated.
Worst.
Now you've got to go out to a family dinner.
Family dinner at a
No
pub.
one wants to go to a family dinner.
And it was
Hang on, was it your family or was it
Jess's family.
No one wants to go to the other side's family
Look,
dinners.
It's not too bad. I figure it's not too bad. We're going
It's
to
3
a pub.
hours. You never get back.
Well, look, it's
You have to listen to some mother-in-law complain or something like that. All right, you would rather be on the couch. You would rather be a slob, but you've got to
I'm gonna put pants on.
you got to
That's
put
what you're saying.
pants on. You got to
But
make
that's not
the
the worst
small
part
talk
of the
and
story.
the conversation.
That's not the worst part of the story. So we get to the
You got to
venue,
see family members you don't really care for.
go to the venue. We're playing with the nephew.
The venue means hotel.
Croxton Hotel.
Very classy.
Very
Croxton
classy.
Hotel.
But that's okay. It's kid friendly, right?
Yeah.
We get there. And
Over
they're like,
28s as well.
That's right. Oh, I can go there now. I'm in. We go there, all good. And to order food,
Uh-huh.
you have to get your phone and
Yeah.
scan the QR code.
The QR code, yep.
And the QR code opens up the menu.
The menu, yeah.
Okay. And you order what you want.
Mm-hmm.
It was a limited menu because they
Yeah.
didn't obviously have the chef on. They just had the cooks on. So, they didn't have certain steaks.
Okay.
And they didn't have, not everything
But
was
they had
there.
Palmers.
Had Palmers.
Okay.
I ended up going with the burger. I was feeling a burger.
Okay.
So all good.
How was the burger? What
It was
the
a
burger?
very average.
What was the burger? I feel like the Croxton, the Palmer's even going to be average.
Everything looked average, yeah. Just everyone got different meals and everything was average.
Okay.
But we go to pay.
Yeah.
And there's a surcharge
Right. For using the app.
for using the app.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a second. Hold on a minute. Do I have an option to pay in cash to
Avoid the surcharge.
avoid the surcharge? No. Okay. So I pay for my meals and my drinks. And then I'm like, I feel like another beer. Punch back on the app.
Another
Order the beer.
surcharge.
Another surcharge. I'm like, hold on a second.
This is a very good business adding
This
the surcharge.
And I'm like, okay.
Not for you as the
No,
consumer, but
no.
if we were on the other side.
Perfect. But this is what I want to complain about.
Oh,
If you
hang on.
give
I
me-
thought you were going to complain about one of your family members.
No, this is the surcharge.
I'm bitterly disappointed.
Oh, well, I'm going to complain about Jess in a minute. Don't worry. I've got a
Oh,
story.
I thought
I've
this-
got a story for you that's going to frustrate the shit out of you.
I was hoping that this would be those 20 of you and Uncle Frank got me too'd or something and
that's Uncle Kieran to Dweezil, and he was scratching his balls in front of some woman running past him. Yeah. If the only way for me to order food and the only way for me to pay for food is via the app.
Yeah.
But
you're going up to the counter to pay.
No.
Oh, you had to pay on the app.
Yes, everything on the app.
Oh, that's a problem.
So there was no option to pay in cash or in another way.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then you can't pass on the cost of running that service onto the consumer because it's not the consumer's fault. You have to take that as a loss.
You should write a very angry letter complaining about, why didn't you just mark up your food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the surcharge, look, I'm not going to say the surcharge was a lot. But it was enough for me to get angry about.
What was it?
I think over the whole night, we bought 2 mains, 2 entrees, and 2 jugs of beer, and we probably paid about $3 in surcharges.
Yeah, now three is still
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with the surcharge.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable at all. I'm not comfortable with paying a surcharge to get my money out of an ATM.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, you want me to use you as your bank. You
Yeah.
should allow me to get your... Like, HSBC allows me to take money
if
out
the
of anything.
surcharge is only $3, they should just add up.
But that's the price of business.
Put 20 cents on each fucking meal or something.
But that's the price of business,
Yeah.
right? If you need to use this service or whatever it is, that's your price of business.
Yeah.
You count that as a loss. It's
Yeah.
it perfectly works out at the end of the day.
Instead of the Palmer being $24.50, make it $25.
Just make it 25
Yeah.
and you'll make it back instantly.
Yeah,
Because everyone orders a fucking Palmer.
that's right.
Instead, they pass on these little nitty gritty bullshits, and then you could only be at the pub for an hour and a half
Oh, terrible.
because it's COVID.
Terrible.
And then there's all these kids running around, and the venue manager is like yelling at the kids because you can go to a
I have to admit, I do love a venue manager or someone who's like old and cranky who works somewhere who tells off kids.
It's pretty fun. It was pretty funny.
Because the parents are like, they're having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, not my fucking problem. They're staying within the 4 walls.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out. And then you got some person who's really cranky and scary. And, well, as a kid, you think they're scary.
Yeah. Oh,
I love it. I love it.
My favourite thing was that in Melbourne at the moment, you can go to a brothel and have your dick sucked.
Yeah.
But the kids can't play in the enclosed playground at a pub.
Right. Well, that's, because, that might cause stuff to happen.
Of course,
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
kids, no kid in Australia has ever caught COVID.
No.
But But so the playground was closed.
And
all these kids
bullshit,
are running
if
around.
you go to a brothel, yeah, like you're wearing a mask indoor with the fucking sex worker.
Yeah, no, you're
bullshit.
not. No, you're not.
Bullshit.
No, and she's definitely not.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know, or he.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not happening. All right.
Alright. Okay. Now, I come home in the night time, go to bed, and Jess and I have this weighted blanket.
Yeah.
It's 11 kilos of blanket. It's heavy. And I don't really like it too much because I get too hot.
Yeah.
Even in these cold weathers, I've just been sleeping with the sheet on. That's how hot I run.
Wow.
I'm a machine. I have no concept of cold. Right?
See, I love a really cold room.
Yeah, me too. It has to be like negative 4
But
degrees.
I love the doona,
Yeah, okay.
like being over me.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just have the sheet on me, all good. And then I put I double up the blanket on Jess.
Yeah.
And then she sort of wriggles.
So you don't have two separate blankets. Your blanket is the weighted blanket.
No. We have a sheet, a doona, weighted blanket on top.
Okay.
So I double up the weighted blanket over Jess.
So you've got no weighted blanket.
And
But you've got the doona.
I've got like half the doona off.
Yeah.
And my feet out of the bed.
Got it.
Because my feet get really hot.
Yeah. Do you guys, because you guys are so small, do you have a really small bed? Is it like a kid's bed?
No, we have a queen.
Okay.
You know.
That must be like a double king for you two.
Oh, Dweez gets in the middle.
See, you're making short people jokes.
Yeah, no. And it's working. Anyway, so, and then somehow, like, the blanket just moves and wriggles around, and the weighted blanket slips off the bed.
Mm-hmm. It's now in the groove.
It's off the bed on her side.
Oh, yeah.
Off the bed. Completely off the bed. On her side.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I'm really going to miss that blanket. Thinking, like, cause it's on the floor. She's not going to get up and...
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, look. I'm a good husband to be. I get out of the bed. And I go all the way around the bed. I pick up the 11...
So you guys haven't fallen asleep yet?
No. This is the 11 kilo weighted blanket. Yeah. I lift it up and I put it on her.
That must be like 40 kilos for you because you're so small.
Yeah, but for a fat guy like you, it's like lifting 100 kilos.
Well
at least I'm muscly.
Yeah, well played.
Thank you. Yeah. So I put the blanket back on Jess. I'm thinking, how good, what a guy. Yeah. What a nice guy. Trying to do the right thing. You know, I don't need the blanket, but I'll get the blanket for you because you're already warm in bed. I can get cold. It doesn't matter. And then she goes, as soon as I put her on her, she goes, what are you doing? I don't want that. Take it off. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? You just said you were going to miss it. And so I came to put it on you.
Not literally, figuratively.
And she was like, oh, I don't really want it now. I'm like, well, you could have told me that by the time I got out of bed, walked around, lifted the blanket, put it on you.
Yeah.
And only then...
You're informed.
So who's in the wrong here?
Well, thank you for...
You're both couples therapy without
you're both in the wrong.
Yeah, well...
You're both in the wrong. Number one, Turch, you're in bed. You're done. If you're both going to fall asleep...
If you have a fiance or if you have any sort of female partner, you're in bed, you are not done, buddy boy. There's plenty of things you can do in bed with your fiance.
You're both checked out.
Like I said, there's plenty of things.
I know you don't have evening sex. I know you're both.
You're still young and supple.
I know you prefer the morning, the mid. You two are both. You two are the equivalent of Homer Simpson with enchiladas.
Well, yeah, most days, but weekends, long weekends.
Was this an enchilada moment?
No. This was a long weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, these might change the facts a little bit.
A
very nice thing for you to do.
I tried my best.
So you had an alternative motive.
I had no alternative motive, apart from the fact that I didn't want her to fucking complain. If that's the ulterior motive that you're talking about. No, but even when I did the right thing, she still complained.
Look, you were fucked. You were damned if you did, and you were damned if you didn't.
Yes. Welcome to married life.
Yeah. And so I think...
This is why you're single still, isn't it? This is it.
So I think you did the right thing.
Yeah.
You did the right thing. But Turch, you're in the wrong.
I knew it.
And the reason why I say that is you're about to get married, which means all your decisions will be overridden by Jess. And really, I need to make sure that I'm on Jess's good books.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And I know Jess listens to this podcast.
Our one listener. Okay, my final rant is the phrase, "that hasn't aged well."
Well, that hasn't aged well. Hey-oh!
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Lots of things have come out now that
Uh-huh.
people are looking back at
Yeah.
and going, "Oh, that hasn't aged well. It should be cancelled." And I'm like, okay. I don't think that should happen at all. Nothing should be cancelled because art, especially art in general, should never be cancelled, even if it hasn't aged well. Because the fact that it hasn't aged well makes it still valuable because we can learn from it.
Yeah.
So that means it has aged well. It's a paradox.
It is a paradox.
Okay, so let's go from there, right? Let's use that as a
I tell you
premise.
what hasn't aged well.
Okay.
Rotten bananas.
Yeah, okay.
That hasn't aged well.
I'm specifically talking about, but you know, rotten bananas are bad. But brown bananas you can use to make banana bread.
Well, that has aged well.
That's right.
Yeah.
And rotten bananas can be used for compost. See, they're paradoxical. But I'm going to talk about art in general and mostly about television and film.
Okay.
And I love television and film,
Yeah.
especially like, you know, things old. I love a good older film and television shows and all that. Like recently, they've come out and said Friends is bad.
The TV show Friends.
And like that is the
Who are they?
people on the internet.
Okay, well,
and they're
that's-
wrong anyway.
There's a lot of people on the internet, and a lot of these people who say these things are like 1%.
I know they are. I
Yeah.
know, but that's the thing.
And
this
they make
1%,
all this noise.
This 1% make all this noise. It's enough noise to be all over the internet for everything. So I'm going to go through a few examples that I've found
Yeah.
that I think that their reasoning
Yeah.
for it having not aged well.
This is cancer culture,
This is
isn't it?
cancel culture, but
Yeah.
it's specifically about the running around the phrase that hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first example is the second Indiana Jones film, The Temple of Doom. Apparently, that hasn't aged well
Okay.
because every element of Indian culture and Hindu culture depicted here is a bastardization or outright falsehood of the real people in their lives. The stereotypes are created here are part of the depressing lineage of Indian and Eastern Asian culture and pop culture. Right? That's it.
Yeah.
Have you've seen Indiana Jones Temple?
I've seen it. Cannot remember it.
That's the one where the Kali Ma and the sacrifice.
I'm assuming there's some kind of temple.
No, that's yeah, kind of. But that's we think of the Temple of Doom.
Oh, is that not what we're talking about?
No, yeah, Temple of Doom. No wait, yeah, Temple of Doom. the one where he goes to India and he finds the stones.
Yeah,
the
Indiana
carved stones.
Jones Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Hasn't aged well.
Yes.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it. But
That's-
I'm assuming there's some doom and there's a temple. Yeah.
Well, one of the big things that they talk about is the Indian representation in there, and it's about the Thuggy.
Right.
And the Thuggy is this like cult that in the film, and it's this cult that did like blood sacrifice and heart sacrifice, all that sort of stuff. And they're like negative stereotypes, all this and that. The Thuggy cult that is in the film was a real cult.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That actually believed in this part of God that was like the chaos god.
Yeah.
And believed that in blood sacrifice.
Yeah.
They just based it off reality and made it into I guess, Indiana Jones in the 1940s, 50s, modern Indiana Jones era time. But apparently, a real cult that was a real thing is a negative representation of a whole culture.
I have to admit, right.
Hasn't aged well. Yeah, no, it has. It has, because it was a representative of a point in time
I just
of a
have
culture.
to admit, can people not enjoy it for the film that it is?
Okay, let's continue on with that. Gone with the Wind. 1936.
Yeah.
1939 when it came out, sorry, my mistake. Apparently, it has has been called out for its portrayal of slavery because it glosses over the harsh realities of slavery while romanticizing the Confederacy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the film Gone with the Wind may have elements of what the time period was about.
Yeah.
Because it's about a Confederacy pushing family.
Mm.
So you can't really have a negative spin on it because the characters of that time living in that thing with those beliefs wouldn't have thought, actually, slavery's pretty bad. They would have thought slavery's pretty good.
Yeah, they probably would have thought.
That's right. So if for them
If
to
you and
represent
I-
it differently...
If you took us back 200 years ago, we would probably have slaves.
I'm a white male, aged 18 to 36. And that's it. Like, it says the culture of the America thought, they thought it was right to enslave people. Yeah, that's what the thought was at the time of the what the film was about.
Yeah.
That's it. But you can't just say, and also there was a gay man. Like, there was no gay men back then.
Mm.
So because they didn't represent gay men in the Gone with the Wind.
I look at these things and go, it's just very interesting to understand what the thinking was at the time.
Yeah, of course. And especially as a period piece,
Yeah.
you're not going to have, black trans women who independently own 2 farms.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So you can't base it on that. You've got to base it on what the time period was and what they were trying to represent.
Yeah.
If slavery isn't a big part of the story, of the narrative, and they just show glimpses of it as part of what some of their beliefs are, then of course the small glimpses is just going to be there to go, hey, the slaves are working hard today. That's all it might be. But for them, that's their life. Think about, what's it called? Django Unchained. Like, the Leonardo DiCaprio thing was like, yeah, slaves are great. Is that going to age badly? Is that not aged well?
These people, number one, they've got nothing going on in their life. They just have to complain.
Here's one, Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Do you remember the trans woman in that film, which is the lead
Look,
detective?
I haven't watched Ace Ventura in a very long time, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be like Austin Powers when I rewatched it.
It's pretty crap.
I was very disappointed.
Okay.
I loved Austin Powers.
Yeah.
It's like Liar Liar. A great film as a kid.
Yeah. Crap
I
as an adult.
remember laughing so hard.
Crap as an
Watch
adult.
it as an adult. Go, what the fuck is this shit?
Ace Ventura is still funny as an adult. It's still good. Okay. Let's just skip that. Let's go to television.
Yeah. Liar Liar didn't age well.
No. I think
Austin Powers
didn't
age well.
Yeah, but I don't think it didn't age well. I just think it wasn't ever funny.
Well, as a kid, it was funny.
It was
as
built
an adult,
for a certain audience, and
I've outgrown that audience. Yeah.
I bet you if you show it to another 16-year-old kid, it's still going to be funny to them to say Faja and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, go back. Did you ever watch the show Home Improvement with Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Great. Funny?
Funny.
No, because that shows, assumed it was a show about Tim Allen fixing things, working with his hands. Beyond Tim's obvious love of all things masculine, it featured closed-minded plot lines. For instance, in one episode, Tim wanted to take his sons to a basketball game instead of allowing them to learn ballet with the mother. Right? Now, I thought to myself, that seems like, okay, a pretty standard plot line. I'm pretty sure my dad would have been like, I'd rather my son play sport than ballet. And my dad's a pretty progressive guy, right? I'm sure your dad would be saying, but I looked up what the episode's about, and the kids end up going to ballet. So I think it's pretty fucking progressive. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? All right, next one. How I Met Your Mother apparently hasn't aged well because the...
Isn't that fucking you?
Yeah, okay. But because the Barney Stinson character is a womanizer. That's the point of his character! If you can remove Barney Stinson being a womanizer, he has no character.
Uh-huh.
And the funny thing is, he's an exaggerated version of a womanizer.
Now, Cheers. Please tell me that Cheers is not on this list.
Cheers, but the last one I found that I thought was probably the most ridiculous of all was the television show I Dream of Jeannie. Remember that show?
That was in 1960s?
1950s, 1960s, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, the premise of the show was a astronaut finds a magic lamp, rubs the magic lamp, a genie pops out, and the genie is now owned, like in all mythology across the world with genies, is now owned by the man. And it just so happens, eventually, the man marries the genie because they fall in love. That's it.
Oh, beautiful story.
Beautiful story. Okay.
I've just said, do you know what would be a really funny story?
What?
Where it's like you rub the genie and it's not a beautiful lady that comes out? I don't know. It's
You mean like Aladdin?
Yeah.
Where Genie pops out and it's it's Robin Williams.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. So, beautiful Genie pops out, beautiful, gorgeous, right? No. That's negative because in the show, Genie is submissive to the male character. She grants him every wish and even calls him master. Yes, because she's a genie and her master is the person who releases her from the lamp. Like in every single genie story ever. You know, Genie from Aladdin calls out Aladdin master and grants him all the wishes and is submissive to him because that's what a genie in mythology does. That would be like, oh, I rub the lamp and the genie pops out and goes, thanks for that, and just fucks off. Like, great story. Thank you for that. Age, all these things. The word saying, classifying them as they haven't aged well, just shows your lack of understanding of trying to develop a character, trying to understand mythology, trying to understand plot lines, and how to even write either sitcom or a movie or or how families actually function.
I would love to see them write a sitcom, right?
Like, what do you?
And I would love to see these people write a sitcom and go, do people actually watch it?
What do you even write about? Okay, you can't have a female submitting to a male. You can't have a male acting show, any kind of masculinity.
I can tell you.
You can't have people
Turch, this
not
would be the show. Hi.
Hello.
Are you having a nice day?
What do you mean by that?
I'm sorry for inferring or making an assumption.
Thank you for acknowledging your privilege. Like, that's what it would be. I don't understand what they want out of these things. In Ace Ventura, it was funny when he found out the police officer was actually a man, even though it looks like a woman.
Do you know what, Turch?
It's
I don't
shocking.
spend any time in this cancer culture world. I just think they're all idiots.
Yeah.
And I then move on.
I understand, but I think the phrase, that hasn't aged well, across the board. I watched another one where, like, even in the music world, like, songs like has Turning Japanese aged badly because
the Bible hasn't aged well.
But the Bible was
all
never
the
meant
blood,
to age well.
sweat, and tears in there. That's not appropriate today. The murders.
But without it, you wouldn't have any of the art, any of the stories, any of the mythology.
You would have art and you'd have different stories.
You would have different art, but you wouldn't have the art we have today.
Yeah, because it'd be different art.
Of course.
Which could be better art.
It could be.
Or it's art.
Yeah.
And I would treat it like all other art. I don't fucking get it.
Well, But a lot of the stories written in those Bible things.
Yeah, but Star Wars is
that hasn't aged well either.
No, I'm just saying that's a great
because
fucking story.
Princess Leia was being a slave to Jabba the Hutt. I mean, it's not a big part of the story, but because of that, all of Star Wars is terrible because Leia was a slave. See what I mean? That's the stupidity, the lack of understanding. I think a lot of these
people need to go to a philosophy degree and actually learn.
I think what these people look at these things, they go, they don't understand how things work within context of what the show is trying to do.
No, these people just don't understand anything.
No, but like let's go Home Improvement, right? Yes, Home Improvement was about a very macho man trying to bring up three boys.
Yeah.
But it was also about him understanding that he's got to be very flexible as a father.
Yeah.
And the kids got to understand like how they fit into the world. And the dad was just trying to do the best, as was the mum.
Yeah.
And yes, the dad was masculine because he was trying to be the big masculine guy, not only on his television show, Tool Time, which is the great show, and I would just watch Tool Time all the time. But he was also trying to be the masculine influence on his kids. A very important part of a child's upbringing, I would say, And it's the same for I Dream of Jeannie. If you understand the mythology and understanding of what genies do, then the character of the genie character makes perfect logical sense. And the fact that she moves out of that and becomes a relationship partner of the Master, which end up not being called Master anymore, shows that the show actually progressive. But if you just take a step and go, oh, the genie character is a woman who's submissive to the man, of course that sounds bad, but there's no context of why that happens. Same as the Home Improvement, or same as like Gone with the Wind. If you don't understand the context...
Do you think that these people complaining care about context, or do you think they care about writing an article and status signaling to their peers?
It's definitely that one there, and I think that you're losing any sort of understanding.
Most people, though, ignore them.
I think it's growing.
I think most people ignore them. I think there's a very interesting phenomenon occurring. And I actually think more things need to be cancelled. Right, and hear me out. For the fact that if more things get cancelled, other organisations are going to turn up that want free speech, let's protect the history, we're going to play the original.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about the internet. These things will create and develop. And I think most people aren't this 1%. It's take halal meat, right? Yeah. I haven't actually thought this point out, but the people who want halal meat are a very small percentage, and they control basically a lot of the meat distribution because they can eat anywhere. But if they don't serve halal meat, then the people are missing out. So I think, yes, these tiny percentage of the people, yes, they are something to worry about. I think we're going to see more cancel culture, definitely, and all that occur in the future. But I have hope because there's other things that are popping up and occurring that are people are going to change away and move away.
I think the halal meat thing doesn't really work.
Doesn't quite work.
But okay, let's just go in the point where we go, other things are going to be created.
Yeah.
I would love to think that would be the case. But
when they start working a full-time job and paying taxes, they'll change.
There is such a monopoly or such a limited amount of, I'll go old media. Let's just say old media, like, television, radio, all that sort of.
So, Disney and Netflix, right, have done things.
Yes,
but I haven't seen that happen on Amazon, on Prime.
That's true. I'll give you that. But there is such a limited of places where people can access certain types of media.
Yeah,
that eventually, like the Star Wars, right? The original Star Wars have been edited, changed over time. You can't find, unless you have the original VHS, you will not be able to find the original cinematic release of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. You can only get now digitally remastered versions. And with that, you've actually lost a part of history.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen.
And that's sad.
Yes, and I think that's what's going to happen across the board. Like there's episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think there was one that they removed. There's an episode of The Office that apparently had blackface in it, and they removed that. And on streaming services across the board, you won't be, unless you have the physical DVD or you recorded it back in the day, or maybe downloaded an illegal copy, which is why torrents I think might be the way forward. But in the same sense, if you're just watching it on a streaming service, go, oh, episode 4 is gone. Oh, doesn't really matter. That's what's going to be written in history in the future.
I think these organisations in the future for censoring are going to face more problems. Well, and I think people are going to move away from them because when you've got something like Amazon Prime that doesn't censor, and they start showing them, or you can find them in other means, I think there's going to be a real.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I think there's going to be a real.
I think one of the big things is that Disney and even Netflix.
It's sort of like they were at the very beginning of figuring this stuff out at the moment in the technology space. Like it's still very new.
I just think that some of the big, again, Disney, Netflix,
and some people will bring, especially in America, because they've got that free speech as their First Amendment.
Yeah, someone
will eventually bring a lawsuit against them.
I hope so, because as I said, letting them control. You know, this was like when I brought in the Muppets and I said like, oh, this has cigarettes in it. I'm like, well, eventually they might go, well, it's made for kids. Maybe we'll just get rid of that episode. It's like, wait a second, that's part of history. You know, that is at the point in time.
I doubt kids are going to really be watching old Muppets. They're going to be watching new Muppets.
Exactly right, but just in case they want to go back, or like like me, like, oh, I want to watch the
nostalgia.
old Muppets again.
You want nostalgia?
Yeah, I want the old Muppets again, or I want to show my little nephew Bugs Bunny, and the big sign comes and goes, "We've removed this one because of potential blackface." It's like, wait a second, it's fucking cartoons. Number one, it's Bugs Bunny. Are you implying that he's white? You know. I don't understand. Like, it's this whole, it has to be progressive or it doesn't exist. And those 1%, it may be such a small minority, but that small minority has such a such a push, you know, and it's affected cinema. It's already definitely affected the comic book industry. It's definitely affected the video game industry. And I think it's going to affect television and films down the line even more.
I think the companies that don't censor are going to do really well. I take UFC, right?
Yes.
UFC, I fucking love UFC.
Yes.
Number one, because if you're really good, you get the fights. And I love UFC because when you watch any of their events, you've got men and you've got women fighting.
Yeah.
So it's not just men and it's not just women. You get both of them, and you have to be good. You have to be bloody
Best,
good.
yeah.
The best. So it's based
Well,
on
at one stage, was it Ronda Rousey was the biggest draw card for the UFC,
right? And Dana White, who runs it, because someone said, "Oh, some of your fighters have said things. What are you going to do about it?" Because the UFC's exploded and they can go anywhere now.
They're the new wrestling. They're the new WWF.
I wouldn't even put them in that category because it's actually real fighting.
I know, but it's become
It's
that
bigger
level
than
of
boxing.
entertainment.
It's bigger than boxing.
Yeah, it's boxing's a joke now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's become that level of event where, remember the WWF, everyone was talking about it on TVs, this and that, big names, big stars all the time. But now it's real.
But Dana White basically said in the press conference I watched, he said, I'm not censoring.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fighters can say whatever they want. He's like, it's not, he's like, as long as they're good enough.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Do the job. Do your job. I don't care what you say. Do
I don't
your job.
care. Their job is to fight.
Yeah.
And if they're good and they're up to it, then they fight.
And that's why it's so successful compared to
exactly.
everything else.
And that's why I think it's so successful.
Yeah.
People can make up their own mind about whatever the fighters say in public, but it doesn't matter when it comes to UFC and fighting. He's not gonna censor them.
Oh, that's good.
And it's exploded. And now the really interesting thing is they can now sell out stadiums. They don't even need a person from that. Like if they're fighting in Texas, they don't need Texas fighters.
No, they just need.
Or if they're fighting
fighters.
If they're fighting wherever, they don't need a draw card for that area to get people in.
No, they just need the fighters that they want to have fight.
They could have someone from Mexico and Brazil fight, and they'll sell out the stadium.
Sell out 50,000 people, whatever it is. It's good, and I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You know, and we're talking a lot of these things you're talking about, and I've ranted about, were so sanitized anyway. They were television shows, and they were trying to appeal to the broadest market available. And you know what? Back in the 90s, there were shows for really masculine men, and there was also Will and Grace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm sure Will and Grace technically would have more problematic things than a masculine Tim Allen going, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so lack of understanding of the context across the board, and that's what's really going to affect what becomes the next big television show.
So, if you're stuck around for this long, welcome to Politics on the We Only Do One Take podcast.
It's about
or philosophy.
The lack of, do we censor paintings with naked pictures of women in them?
Mm-hmm.
Because they've got naked women in them? No. Because it's art, and it's of the time. Yeah. It's important to do that. That's enough for me. That's all my rants. I'm done. Let's listen to some news, and then let's review our new podcast.
All right, I'll do a quick whip around the news. The important news that you may not have found in this past week. Fast food staff arrested for not giving police free burgers. All 19 workers at a fast food restaurant in Pakistan were detained after refusing to give a group of police officers free burgers.
Pakistan is corrupt, though, isn't it?
When I was in India
Yeah.
for my friend's wedding, after the wedding, I did a bit of exploring. And I remember there's like 2,000 people that turned up to this wedding, and that was small.
Yeah.
Right. And there's this. I'm now. It's like a couple of days after. I'm a fair distance away from wherever the wedding was, and I'm exploring. And this police officer starts yelling at me. He's like, "Hey, come here! Hey, you, come here!" And I'm like, "I haven't done anything fucking wrong. Like, just keep walking. Like, ignore this guy." And he runs up to me, and he's like, "You were at the wedding." I was like, "Oh yeah, I was at the wedding." He's like, "I was at the wedding." I was like, "Oh, talking." And he's like, "Are you hungry? Do you want a drink?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And he just walks up to one of the food stands.
Yeah.
And is like, points at it, like, drink food, and gives him like, "Oh, how much?" And he's like, no, you're my guest. It's free. And I was like, okay, the police guy is not going to pay for that. That guy who runs
he's just paid for that.
He's just paid for my...
All of it is under the table, Yeah.
That poor business owner has just had to... That's just how it is.
It must be like that in, all those... That's a pretty corrupt country, I would say, Pakistan. Like, on a level of countries, I would say probably not the safest.
Yeah.
And, but if it's a fast food chain, then they've probably got to, like Macca's or something like that. They're probably going to go, actually, we got to... Like, I think here they give them like a 50% discount.
Yeah, but you're not going to get arrested. Because I know a little bit about Vietnam, same thing. If you run a business or a cafe or anything, every month you've got to make a payment. It's just
Fucking mafia or something.
What you've got to pay the police.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, if you don't, all these health regulations start turning up. It's just how business is done.
That's what the mafia was for.
Yeah. Man charged in girlfriend's murder tried to sell car with victim dead in backseat.
Speed holes. It's like they're like trying to sell speed holes. Now the smell, it could be worse.
Have you?
I'll lock extra $100. Here's an air freshener.
I'm not going to say you're going to have someone dead in the car when you try and sell it, because you've recently sold your car.
Yeah.
But have you left anything in your car that's a little bit like, oh, shouldn't have left that in there?
The only time I can think about that happening is maybe like, I probably should have taken like the CDs out of the car back in the day. When you had CDs in the car.
When you went to Sanity and you got your...
Yeah, CDs in the car.
Got your CDs.
So I probably should have taken them out when I got my car serviced.
Ballarat still has a Sanity, by the way.
I think there was one in Mildura when the last time I went up there as well. So I was like, what the man? That's not even real.
I miss airline meals so much, I make them at home.
Oh. That's someone's got too much fucking time on their hands.
Self-confessed aviation geek Nick misses air travel so much that he is recreating the in-flight... I like the in-flight meals.
They're not bad. They do the job.
They do the job, but there's something about, like, my phone doesn't work, no one can contact me,
Yeah.
I can't go anywhere, I'm in no rush.
You've got no leg room.
I've got no... Actually, I'm not thinking about the leg room when I'm eating. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit like, well, what else am I going to do?
I love traveling on planes.
Yeah.
Because I just put a couple of podcasts on.
Yeah.
And I just fall asleep, and then I wake up, new podcast episode, bam, I'm on.
Yeah, I'm so content when I fly.
I remember flying to Italy with my family.
Yeah.
And we flew Qatar Airlines.
Uh-huh.
And they had stickers that said, "Wake me for food."
Uh-huh.
And I just shoved it on the seat. And then I fell asleep in the first thing that said, "Sir, dinner's ready." Woo, yes, hello.
Oh.
So, good stuff. I can't.
So
I wouldn't, if I had to make myself dinner.
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching lots of cooking videos at the moment because I'm really boring.
Uh-huh.
And I've been...
Don't worry, I watched an hour and a half on how to cook brisket.
Oh, very good. I've been watching how to cook burgers better, and I learned how to make... Okay, I got a bone to pick with you. Okay. You said to me on this podcast when we watched Home Alone that you didn't like pickles.
Yeah.
And then you tried, they said you never had a pickle, you didn't like pickles.
Yeah, I don't like pickles.
And he ate it, and then we came here, and I said, "Here's a pickle, it's one of my favorites." He ate it, and he didn't like it. And that's fair enough. And then I was thinking, one of your favorite things to do is to get your chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, with the Big Mac sauce.
And Big Mac sauce has so many pickles in it.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Number
No,
one.
no, I do know that.
and two, can you explain to me the logic behind that? Why is the Big Mac sauce okay?
Probably because it doesn't look like a pickle.
Okay, it's a visual thing. Because you don't like cucumber.
I don't like cucumber.
Right.
I see cucumber and I take the cucumber off the plate. Like,
right.
that's how repulsive I think
don't
of cucumber.
understand why you don't like cucumber. Like, do you eat tzatziki, like the sauce, like in kebabs?
Yeah.
Because that has cucumber
Yeah,
in
I
it
know.
too.
I know.
You're like a child. Like, I don't like ham. I'll have it on pizza.
And
though.
it's weird. It's weird. Zucchini?
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat it, but
Yeah.
I would. Look.
Zucchini's a completely different beast.
Yeah.
One's a fruit, one's a vegetable. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure cucumber's a fruit.
Really? One's a fruit, one's a vegetable? Oh, there you go.
Well, zucchini's definitely a vegetable.
But yeah, no, I know that. I know that. But I just don't. I don't know. I think it's more visual.
It is cucumber. Yeah, botanical concept. Cucumbers is a fruit.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Nah, I just don't.
Well, look, because I was making burgers last night.
Yeah.
And I made a like homemade version of Big Mac sauce.
Uh-huh.
And I was putting it in. I'm like, oh, and Jess was like, the burgers are great. Turned out really, really well. I was really, really proud. Jess like, oh, you got to have the boys over for burgers and place it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, but Kieran won't eat this. It's got pickles in it. She goes, but he eats Big Mac sauce. How much sure you've eaten Big Mac burgers before they've got pickles in them?
Yeah.
And you just eat
No,
them?
no, I take the pickles out.
Okay.
If I go to McDonald's, I always ask no pickles.
Right.
No,
that guy.
No pickles will be in the meal.
Love a good pickle.
I will take the pickle out, or I won't even eat the burger.
So what about with the Southern Fried Chicken burger? You wouldn't
Yeah.
have the pickles in there?
No.
Oh. You're missing out.
Oh, the one at Dexter's.
Okay.
Because I don't really know that the pickle's there. I can't see the pickle.
What a jalapeno.
Jalapeno I'll eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but the Dexter burger, because
Okay.
I don't know, the burger's so nice and I don't see it and I
Oh.
eat it and I'm just focusing on the crunch and like, oh, this tastes really good.
Yeah.
But if I saw the pickle, it would come off.
What? Pickles are delicious. I don't even know how to describe. Like, I'm not a big pineapple fan.
Yeah.
But I'm across the board. Like, I won't have pineapple on anything.
Yeah.
Like, from pizza to burgers. Like, I don't even eat it like on a fruit platter.
Uh-huh.
Like, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
The only time I ever like it is when I'm in like a tropical, like the Victorian
Mhm.
pineapple tastes like garbage. But when I was in Bali, it was amazing.
Yeah, right.
You know,
It's different up there.
it's different up there.
Yeah.
Different. Yeah. But in the same sense, I'm like, nah, that's won't touch it. But you're just like all over the place with pickles. Ridiculous. It is. Kieran.
Yeah.
It's 150th episode. We're going to do a bit of podcast consultants, but we're going to podcast consult our own podcast,
Excellent.
which is our new podcast that is Reading Wikipedia. It's available now on YouTube, on Spotify.
Spotify, Anchor, Podbean.
Oh, it's on a few places,
Yeah.
but Spotify's the way to go. Just search for it. Reading Wikipedia podcast. It's a classic. It's a classic
Excellent.
podcast where we read with the help of all of our fans, and they too can join our podcasting family on this podcast. Yeah, we've released 10 whole episodes over
That's
the past
amazing.
week.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Kieran's read just the one at the moment, but he's going to add to that list
Yeah.
as many as he can. I've added about 5. Jess has helped out with 2 same, so was friend Geist over there, which is fantastic. But Kieran, we're going to listen to the one that Jess just recorded for us.
Fantastic. I'm looking
So
forward
here you
to
go.
this.
Here's a taster of how good
Reading Wikipedia is.
Hello and welcome to the Reading Wikipedia podcast. Today I'm going to be reading Wikipedia.
Pause. I have to say, because we're very brutal and honest
Yeah.
with other podcasts. Great opening.
It's amazing.
Amazing
This is 10
opening.
out of 10.
Yeah.
We know what's happening.
Yeah.
We know what's happening. And she's
And the sound quality is amazing.
it's 10 out of 10. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. What?
No, taking that.
No.
See, true to our We Only Do One Take podcast roots.
Yeah.
For this show, this is the spin-off show. True to our roots, we only do one take.
We
of
only
this.
do one take
We
reading
just smash it
Wikipedia.
out. That's
Mm.
it.
And Bari Yang White. Nyambari Chacha Mariba Nyangwai.
Did she read this before or just went straight into it?
Straight in.
Brilliant.
That's what it's about. It's
Yeah.
about this is the article I'm reading. You click record and you hope for the best.
This is like when you gave me those really difficult words to sound out.
Your apology video.
Yeah.
That's another thing we lost on YouTube, the apology video. Yeah, I know.
In August 1967. 76!
Again, if you can be dyslexic and you can still join us on our podcast crusade.
This is harder than it looks.
It is.
It's a Tanzanian CCM politician and member of parliament for Tarim constituency since 2010.
Constitution sincere. That's a hard word, but 2010.
See, you gotta finish strong. You gotta finish strong. That's the important thing. The middle. It's like a cliches show that we used to do. Start strong, middle is whatever, but finish strong as well. So if you finish strong, everyone remembers that's good. Here we go.
Thanks for listening to the Reading Wikipedia podcast. Do you want me to do it again?
All right, that was brilliant. Well done.
Good.
Well
Great.
done, Jess.
You know what? As a podcast, audio quality top notch.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Great
intro.
Fantastic.
I mean, they should put some music in the intro, but it doesn't really matter. You don't need it sometimes.
Because I don't think you need it for this. Because some Wikipedia articles are very short.
That's true.
Some Wikipedia articles are very long.
Yes.
And if someone is just listening to this, consistently,
Well, if you want to learn, this is the easiest way to ingest random information. You want to amaze your friends at trivia?
Yeah.
This is the podcast to listen to.
Yeah.
And I don't think I don't know what else I could say about it.
let's listen to someone else.
Okay, let's
As a
listen
voice.
let's listen to another one here. Let's have a look here. I think this is a good one. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. This is Kieran here, and this is Reading Wikipedia, where I'm going to read a Wikipedia page to you.
See, it's nice, simple.
Yeah.
Reading Wikipedia, bam, bam, bam. Easy. I know what's happening. Let's learn.
Today, we're talking about I'm reading, not really talking about reading more of it to you, the PWS-20. The PWS-20 was a Polish single-engine high-wing passenger
Again, audio quality high.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know what we're reading, what podcast we're on. Straight into it.
Fantastic craft for 6 passengers. Built in a PWS factory. Well, I don't even know what that is. Probably some kind of plane factory. In 1929.
Even a little bit of commentary, just to just to spice it up.
Yeah. It remained a prototype. It was the first Polish passenger plane. And it could carry about 2-ish people. And 2 of them were built. And it was retired in 1933. Thanks, everyone, for this episode and listening to Reading Wikipedia, where we find amazing Wikipedia articles and we read them to you.
Perfect.
Wow, brilliant.
I don't
Brilliant.
know. I don't know who did that. I don't know who read that.
I don't know either.
But I wish that man was in the room right now with that beautiful, sensual voice. I feel like I could learn a lot from him in the future.
Oh, thank you.
More Wikipedia articles. But Kieran, I think do you want to do one more?
Yeah, I'll do one more.
Oh, one more. Here we go. How about here's a good one. Let's do.
We haven't heard from you yet, Turch.
Haven't heard from me yet. Ed, this is a good one. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Reading Wikipedia podcast, a podcast where we read Wikipedia to you. Edna Gross. Edna Gross, the 12th of December 1910 to 18th of September 1999. See, nice, simple,
Strong opening.
Strong.
Beautiful audio quality.
Perfect. Was a British gymnast. She competed in the women's artistic team all-round event in the 1936 Summer Olympics. Thank you for listening to the Reading Wikipedia podcast, and we hope to hear from you
I'm
soon.
sure we'll find some longer articles as well.
We've got to start somewhere with these, I think we've purposely been reading the shorter ones for the sake of it, but I think I'd love you to read the Hay one. The one about about Vietnam. I think the Vietnam one you should read. There should be some real long sort of ones going forward. It is a bit tricky. I tried to read some with lots of tables.
Yeah.
But I did read one, 24th.
Table 1, column 1.
But
what's the other thing? It's column and
row.
Yeah. Column 1, row 1.
Row 1. Cell A1. Cell A2. Cell A3. Cell B1. This is an Excel spreadsheet. With that, Kieran, I think we're going to wrap up our 150th episode. If you'd like, obviously listen to the Reading Wikipedia podcast, but for all your wanking needs for this We Only Do One Take podcast, make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you see a YouTube page, it's not us. And if you'd like to send us some hate mail, death threat, or a rant, record it on your phone and email us at weonlydooonetechpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to give us some well wishes for our 150th episode, maybe I'll ask around for the 151st. We'll call it the Mew episode.
I reckon we should just do a random one, like 157.
Okay.
Sure. Weird random number.
Sure, we can do that. Just record it on your phone. Email us. We only do one take podcast at gmail.com. Kieran, 150 episodes. We fucking did it.
Fucking amazing.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next Thursday.
That was meant to be fireworks, like the fireworks sound effect.
I'm not going to put it in.
No.